I feel like we were talking to you just a couple of days ago. In that, maybe we'll start with Samu. Bledisloe, no bigger occasion. Have you seen an intensity lift over recent days, particularly since coming back last Thursday?
Yeah, obviously we weren't happy with the results, but Eddie being Eddie, I think the intensity was always going to lift leading into the next test matches. But yeah, especially the Bledisloe, I think it's not just because of the Bledisloe, but just as a team, we needed to lift the intensity at training and create some great habits leading into these next two games. But yeah, especially this game in front of our home fans, it will be the last opportunity we get.
What about yourself? Obviously, you had that devastating knee injury. Where do you think you're at, form, fitness-wise? From obviously it's a long way until the World Cup still, but yeah, do you think you're at your peak yet?
No, I think I want to peak at the right time. Obviously, after a long layoff, just finding that groove again and that rhythm for myself, finding where I fit in terms of the team and where I can be my best. And I definitely want to show my strengths in those areas. But yeah, still building to where I want to be. I want to be a world-class player and a world-class centre. So there's always going to be room for improvement, and the ceiling's always going to get pushed. Not just for myself, but other players around the squad.
And Tate, just yourself, the halves this week, obviously it's still pretty settled in that area between the 9s and the 10s. Is there been much of a tweak, or is it the game plan with Eddie? Does it vary too much when you're taking on like a New Zealand side, which probably doesn't, it's just got that pace, and you guys have experienced that right the way through the Super season as well?
Yeah, no, I'd say, again, the focus has purely been on how we want to play just our own brand of footy. I wouldn't say it varies. Obviously, the intricacies vary based on who you play, but the overall game plan, the mindset stays exactly the same. Because for us, we need to find our identity and what we do well in and around that. So we've been training really hard, like Samu said. It's been a good 2 days on the paddock. We'll have another one tomorrow, but yeah, I'm really happy with where we're seeing those shifts in the mindset grow.
Obviously, with no Lenny Ikitau playing this week, and I guess we'll find out who's going to be your centre partner. But have you had to put lots of work into kind of, developing a new midfield defensive partnership there, and how's that going?
Yeah, we've been chopping and changing. Our 12s and 13s is getting different combinations in, so it's been great for our growth. Obviously, Lenny is a great pillar for us in that cornerstone, I guess, defensively, and he's shown it throughout the year. But he gives great opportunities for other guys to step into that space and for that more of that growth that we need, and it's created great competition for that 12 and 13 jumper.
And can I just ask you, casting your mind back, I guess kind of, before the last World Cup, there was that great win in Perth. You don't want to go too far back, but what are the keys to being successful against the All Blacks? You've done it a couple of times, but, what do you guys have to do well, when you look back on the times you have done well, to beat the All Blacks?
Yeah, I'd say for me, it's just pressure. The moment you relieve the pressure off a team like the All Blacks, you invite guys like Bowden, like Richie, like Damian McKenzie. You invite them straight into the game, and that's exactly what they want. So you give them time to make decisions, they'll make the right decision every time. If you reduce that, and it starts at the tackle contest, it starts at the collisions, you get that side of the game right, and you add in parity at set piece, then it goes a long way to putting you into a position to win. Doesn't guarantee you a win, given the calibre of the team like the All Blacks, but it puts you in a position to get that result.
And just in terms of it's been pretty low possession counts for you guys over the first 2 tests. You've had to look into why that is. It's obviously multifaceted, but can you turn that around for this test? So obviously playing without the ball for that amount of time is really difficult.
Yeah, and I think looking back on the last two tests, like that's come due to our breakdown inefficiency. So there's been there's been a lot of kicking as well, and a lot of it's probably been questionable. But for us, we've got to make sure that when we decide to take that ball at the line, when we decide to play the style we're trying to play, that we're there at the breakdown, that we're winning that speed into there, and we're making sure that threats like Sam Kane, Marty Sarver, all these guys, they don't have a sniff in around that breakdown, because we know they're coming and they're bloody good at it. So if we can, fix that mentality around actually winning those races, predicting where that ball's going to be, and taking care of it, then you'll see a higher phase count from us.
Samu, just wondering, mate, what you've made of Geordie Barrett's switch to inside centre and what you've seen, and I guess what he brings in that kind of new look All Blacks midfield.
Yeah, he's a world-class player, and I thought he's transitioned really well. I think he can play the whole back line. Personally, he's been playing all over the shop for Hurricanes and obviously the All Blacks. So he's a big body. He's got great skills as well. So I guess he brings that dynamic in the tall position. He's kind of like his brother, and I played with Bodie a lot. So. But in a different aspect where he's just a bigger body. So he's been great so far, and looking for that matchup if the selection goes right.
Just in terms of how you play and how you defend, what changes from, say, a bigger body that is a crash ball guy as opposed to like a second playmaker?
Yeah, I guess what Tate spoke about before, just the pressure and the time on the ball. But at 12, it's all kind of similar. You got big guys that want the ball early, and then you got guys like him that can shift the ball as well. So just that pressure and the time, we want to lessen that time and put pressure under his skills. He's got great skills, so the more we can pressure him in that space, trying to stop him from getting the ball out wide will be a key factor for us.